Hi guys, today it is a classic pesto pasta. If you haven't made this before, it is one of the classic Italian pasta recipes that is just spectacular to make homemade. A lot of people buy it from supermarkets, but making your own pesto results in the most gorgeous, luscious, green, basil-rich sauce tossed in with some gorgeous truffle pasta. It is spectacular, and this version I'm going to make is quite traditional in that we're adding some potatoes and some green beans to it. So the first job we need to do is get our pasta on to boil. You want a good few tablespoons of salt in here. And to this, we're adding a whole pack of this trophy pasta. Have a look at this. This is kind of, it's an interesting pasta shape. It's kind of rolled on the chopping board. But if you can't get your hands on this, some linguine will do the job, but this works pretty well. So straight into our pot, we're gonna plunge that, give it a little stir, and bring it back up to the boil. I'm actually gonna put the lid back on the pot just so that it comes up to a simmer. Now, pesto is one of those things that you see all over the world now. It's probably one of the most well-known Italian sauces, but making it homemade is a world of its own. So we're gonna start off in a little food processor like this. Now, I've got a lot of ingredients here, so I'm gonna jam them in as much as I can. I've got a really generous amount of basil going in here. To this, we're gonna add some pine nuts. And the beauty of this recipe is that it's only a handful of ingredients. So if you can get your hands on some really good quality basil, some nice pine nuts, some olive oil, and some Parmesan cheese, you have the makings of this beautiful little sauce. One thing I should say about these pine nuts is they're actually toasted. So I've toasted them a tiny touch in the pan, and this kind of gives a little more nuttiness to them, especially if they've been sitting in a store cupboard for a while. I've got 2 cloves of garlic here, a little bit hefty on the garlic, but I do like the punch of that raw garlic in here, so you can add less if you like. To this, we're now gonna try and jam this with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, which is nicely grated. It looks like a lot, but once you start blitzing this up, it's gonna break down really nicely. Normally now, when I used to make this at home in our old kitchen in Ireland, I had this beautiful big pestle and mortar, which was perfect for making pesto, because I really believe that the best pesto you can make is made in a pestle and mortar. But I went and shopped a pestle and mortar on Amazon, and this is what I got. I thought I was gonna get twice the size, but now I have a dainty little pestle and mortar that won't even come close to making this. So anyway, to this, we're gonna add in a generous amount of extra virgin olive oil. Really important to use extra virgin olive oil here because that's where the flavor's at. You're gonna get that lovely sort of peppery bite. So it's worthwhile making sure you use a really good quality extra virgin olive oil. In fact, this whole sauce relies on having some really good quality ingredients. So give this a good blitz up, and we're gonna check it for seasoning. We're gonna check it for consistency, but you do need to blitz it up just to see where you're at first. Okay, we're in business. It's starting to look like the pesto we all know and love. You get this really vibrant green paste. This is looking exactly where we want it to be. I'm gonna add a tiny touch more extra virgin olive oil just for consistency, and also give it a little taste just to make sure we're in the right direction. Oh man. Right, last little blitz and we're in business. Okay, we have beautiful pesto. Take a look at this. This is where the magic's at. This beautiful pesto is going to be the coating for this pasta sauce and this classic dish. So, we've got pesto ready to go. We're gonna check on our pasta. Give it a little stir. It should be up to nice temperature. You can see that truffle is looking pretty darn good. Give it a good mix through, and now to this boiling water, we're gonna add in some potatoes. I have these lovely little potatoes. Any baby potatoes will do here. If you need to slice them up a little bit, you can do. I'm gonna slice up 1 or 2 of the bigger ones and then leave the other ones. I love this dish because it kind of feels like it's more than just pasta and sauce, especially when you add the green beans and the potatoes. So it's worthwhile adding these extra ingredients. So potatoes go in. Let's pop them on in, straight into that water. It's just gonna give us a lovely bit of texture in alongside this pasta. To this, we're gonna add our green beans, but I'm just gonna slice them up on the diagonal as well, just to give a little bit of ease of eating. I'm just gonna take the ends off these green beans, and same on this side. What you get left with is these like silky little strands of green beans in with the pasta, in with the potatoes. This is a proper little feast. So just take any of those larger ones and we're gonna slice them in half. Now, once you have your green beans prepped, all you're looking for is your potatoes to be nice and tender, and these only need to be plunged in hot water for about 1 or 2 minutes, just until they're tender also. We're up to the boil, potatoes have had the time, pasta's just about to be cooked. I'm plunging in our green beans, and we've got our pesto decanted, we've got a bowl ready to toss it all together. Let's give it a minute or 2 on those green beans, and we're ready to serve. Now, this is all you gotta do to serve up this pesto pasta. You've got all the potatoes, you've got the green beans. We're just gonna toss through about half that pesto and just see where we're at. There is nothing more satisfying in the world than tossing pesto through hot pasta. It's just such a go-to for a lot of people, and I think by making it homemade, it just makes all the difference. But for me, that's probably just about enough pesto in amongst all those gorgeous ingredients. So let's serve it up into a nice big plate. It's beautiful warm, but you could go wild and have it as a nice lunchbox filler as well. And using kind of a different pasta shape like this trofie, it just makes all the difference for kind of a different pesto pasta experience. So top it up. Give it a tiny more grating of Parmesan cheese just over the top. And that for me is a plate of pasta that is dinner in an instant, and it's so, so good. Let's give it a try. That's what you want, al dente pasta. Beautiful, vibrant, basil, rich pesto. Potatoes that are just nice and tender, and then the green beans as well. All those ingredients cooked in one pot. You've got a pasta sauce that is absolutely gorgeous for so many different things beyond just this dish. This is a real win, and if you want the full recipe, I will leave it in the box below. You can head over to my website to get all the details. Make sure you leave me a comment letting me know if you will try this beautiful homemade pesto pasta. It is so good. Like and share this video if you want to see more, and of course, my friends, happy pasta making, and I'll see you soon. Helps to give it a shake. Oh, hello.